Today's episode of The Experience Live with Russ and Scott is brought to you by The Independent Planner. Invest in your goals and plans to achieve your dreams. Go to theindependent-planner.com today. Good morning. Good morning. How goes it? Welcome to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. We are so glad to have you guys here today. How you doing, Scott?
Man, it's a gorgeous day. I'm excited because we've got Cammie, we've got Simon coming in. I love the message that Cammie put out because, of course, here on the West Coast, it's 7 a.m. She said, set your alarm. I didn't need an alarm. I was excited. I just woke up. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and she has 2 extra hours of sleep where she is back in Houston. So, yeah, you and I were both up, 4 a.m. this morning, moving and grooving. Making things happen. That's it.
Get the day going.
Well, I'm really excited. I'm really excited too. Life is an experience, and we want to add value to everybody watching. We want to really share all that's going on in our lives and our guests to add value and great information for people, talking about connection, talking about marketing, talking about the goals we have for this upcoming year. And I'm just really excited about the guests we have on today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, this show is brought to you by the Independent Planner, which is created by our own D. Scott Smith. There you go. And if you don't have one, you need to go on independent-planner.com and pick one up because
these are handmade by Trevor Lorking at Right Notes in England. So this is Trevor does great work.
That's it.
So if you're in Europe, you got to go to rightnotes.uk. To order that.
There you go. Well, and we were talking about the global tea break coming up this Friday, and there's on the ticker below not only how to get in touch with Scott and I, but also information on the global tea break and how to get in touch with that. So there you go. You guys keep an eye on that. Write that down because we would love to have you join the global tea break. And speaking of which, our first guest, super great friend, Cammie Huyse, and I can even pronounce her last name now because the first time I interviewed her, I didn't do so good. So we're going to bring Cammie in. Hey, Cammie.
Right. Hi, guys. How are you doing? I'm lifting you up. Hey, good morning.
Thank you. We love the support.
There you go. Well, we met on, Cammie and I at least, met on the Global Tea Break and then forged a friendship. And she has been such a great, speaking of supporting, wrote one of the endorsements for my book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, which, of course, you should get a copy of on Amazon if you haven't. But anyway, Cammie, what's going on in your world this morning?
Wow. So I'm glad you were able to get up on time, Scott. That's awesome. I have children, so I was up pretty early too, doing my workout. I've already had my workout. I've had my breakfast. I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and roll this morning. So excited. I'm here in Texas. So it is 70 degrees. So we are not having winter. It's great.
Hey, I love, by the way, that you've got the morning routines and rituals. It is really important to have that consistency and kind of have those things that you do every day.
No, I agree completely. In fact, I think that actually sets you up to get started. So like if I miss some of my morning routine, it really shows in my productivity. I know it's crazy, but it's true because that just is the time to kind of set yourself, figure out what you're going to do for the day. Anytime I go like rushing into my day and I'm like, what do I have to do first? And then what do I have to do second? It's hard for me. Maybe because I'm getting older. When I was younger, I could just rush out and do, but I need a plan.
Russ is very disciplined.
Yes. I love my morning routine. I'm just like you, Cammie. I mean, I've already been out working out, walking with my dog, getting all my morning stuff together. And I am very routine because it does exactly what you said, sets up a great day, gets me moving in the right direction. And, I'm very intentional about a positive approach to the morning. So I'm always talking to myself, giving myself positive information. And
which you would expect from an inspiration specialist.
There you go. And I'm here to inspire. And speaking of inspiring, I just want to tell all of you watching that we would love to have you comment, tell us where you're listening from or watching from, and just say hi to us this morning. And if you have any questions for our guests this morning, we have Cammie and Simon. Date will be on next, and we would love to have you ask questions as well. So Cammie, in your world, tell us exactly the things that you're doing with your business, the new and exciting things going on.
Sure. So first of all, we help entrepreneurs to build their online presence so that they can build a community around their brand. That's really what we do. We help actually for my agency, which is Zoetica Media. That's the name of the agency. We help large to mid-sized brands or mid-sized to large. So I've been working with big brands the entire time. So I'm a small company working with big brands. It's just kind of my background and what I did. But a couple of years ago, I decided that I also wanted to help a lot of the people that were coming to my social media breakfast. So I've been running another organization for about, 11 years, actually almost 12 in May. And that is here in Houston. It's called the Houston Social Media Breakfast. And we meet once a month. And that's just sort of a professional development organization that was just free. I did it grassroots. I did it to help people. And that's just grown over the years. And lots of people ask me, can you help me? And I say, yes, I can help you, but I can't really, do what I do for my big clients. So I've created Smart Social Secrets, which is an online course and so forth. Hi, Tim. I see Tim. Hey, good. And Marjorie and Helen. Yeah. So I've created this online course and online, support system for entrepreneurs to help them create like a social media plan that works for their business. And it's not like how to do Instagram. It's really all about how do you build a community and then which channel should you build it on, so that's sort of what we do.
Tell us about your journey on creating the course, because that's it's a lot of people want to do it. They've tried to do it. How do you actually get it done?
Yeah, it's a bear. I'm going to be really honest. It's a bear. It was hard for me. It was really hard to decide what to put in it. It was hard to decide a lot of these things, but I really have like a very strong emotional attachment to helping people. So I want to make sure that I have something that's really good. So I wasn't going to put anything out there that wasn't really good. So here's how it ended up happening, Scott. I've wanted to do it for years. And I didn't, just like you. Like I'd be like, yeah, you get started. Like there's a lot of pieces to it. It's not just put a course out there and they shall come. That doesn't exactly happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It just doesn't. So I was like, how do I manage this? So I did a lot of thinking about what is it that people ask me to help them with? What are the things? And people ask me about strategy. They ask me about connecting with people online. Where do I find people, that care about me and my business? They asked me about how, to measure their results. And they asked me like, how do you create all that content? How do you get all that done? So I put all that together and I said, you know what, I actually have a system, and the system is, that you have all of those 4 pieces and you put them together. So that's really what the course is based on, as those systems.
I love that. When I work with people that want to start a business, either as a side hustle or they'd like to move it to their full thing, but they go, but what do I actually do? So I always ask them, so think back over the last few months. Somebody has asked you for help in something and you help them. Now, ask yourself, do people actually get paid to help people do this? Like a friend of mine who he would set up people's computer. They say, hey, I just bought a computer from Best Buy, but it's been sitting in the box for a week. What do I do? And then he'd come over and he'd get all set. And pretty soon he's like, this is his full-time gig, right? And it expanded from there.
Starting a business is so important at the ground floor. And speaking of starting a business, we have Mr. Simon Dade who's going to join us with the Chamber in Corvallis, Oregon. Hey, Simon.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing good. And you are all about business, helping businesses in the local area. So give us a little background on who Simon is and what you're doing.
So I'm the director of the Chamber here in Corvallis, Oregon, and have been for about 18 months now. Bounced around from a different chamber and other companies and marketing jobs over the last little while. I have you probably tell from my voice, I'm not from here. So I grew up in England, born and raised there, moved here actually to Corvallis to come to Oregon State to play soccer. I was a student athlete here, luckily enough, in the 90s, and then I was lucky enough to play professionally after that for a little bit, and then jumped into the marketing world, and then 27 years later, here I am talking to you guys.
And I love the things that you've done, Simon, since you've come in, because you have been so active and innovative and creative, doing some new things. One thing that I love that Simon does, he does these little chats in his car. Before COVID, he would drive around with people and interview them while they're driving around town.
That's cool.
And of course, he wasn't holding his phone.
I wondered how Jerry Seinfeld got the idea for in cars with comedians, right? So, Simon, man, you are a trendsetter. That is awesome.
You know what's funny? That's exactly where I got the idea. It was a combination between the Jerry Seinfeld coffee in cars with comedians, or whatever the order was, and then James Corden.
James Corden. I was going to say, is it James Corden? I thought maybe.
Karaoke. Yeah, it's fantastic. There's no singing, thankfully. But there's, it was just, you get people out of their environment, and it becomes very much about them versus, about the where we're sitting or whatever. It's just, we're driving around, people are casual. This, looking out the windows, sort of that very casual relationship. So yeah, very cool.
Hey, I love Tim's comment here that Russ just put up. I wish we had more active local chambers, especially when it comes to digital and social.
Yeah, it's chambers are you get a wide spectrum of chambers, right? There are some very traditional chambers, and I think most people, and I'll put my hand up and say I was one of them. When I first started with chambers, 3, 4, 5 years ago now, I didn't know what a chamber was. I mean, I kind of knew, but it was just this sort of group where old people gathered and had meetings for coffee every now and again, right? That was kind of what chambers were. And so and it's not like we're reinventing the wheel here in Corvallis or necessarily to that extreme, but it's the same as running a regular business. If you have fun and you can bring some personality and some personal traits and aspects to the job. I was always a firm believer when I was in sales for a while that people don't buy from people. From companies, they buy from people. Right. So if you can bring that, I know Russ a lot better than you guys, and that's something that you see with Russ, right? It's about other aspects of his work, but it's primarily about him and his ability to connect and inspire people. So it's great.
Yeah, well, and it's funny. I was, you came about 18 months ago, right into the chamber. Yeah. And I was 2 years ago, I termed out on the board after 3-year terms. I termed out on the chamber. And one of the things that I looked at the chamber was that every business you have to look at, and every organization you have to say, what would the world be missing if we didn't have the Chamber of Commerce? Yeah. And the one thing that I found that was really important is that it was the one place where business, government, and nonprofits all came together to sit at the same table with the same goal of making this a nice community. Yeah. Each one of them having its own particular way to do that. But the chamber was instrumental in coordinating and orchestrating those conversations.
Yeah, and I think it's important that you have when you bring. I mean, in our case, we have HP, we have Oregon State University. I mean, we have some big hitters in town, right? And then we have a lot of small, quote unquote, mom and pop stores. And the ability for them to connect together in an organization like ours, or in the events, or whatever we're doing at the time, is, I think it sort of evens that playing field. So I think there's that relatability between the group. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
One thing that Tim had asked again, about the adjustments that you've made, Simon, and the chamber made, and you've done so many great things online, from, the greeters meetings to the board meetings and all the things that are going on, and kept everything moving, looking at the big awards banquet, Celebrate Corvallis, going virtual as well. I want to talk a little bit more about that, but first I want to ask Cami, because you're really involved. So much like Greeters is in Corvallis, you have the social media breakfast in Houston that you do all the time. And I think you're involved in the chambers and stuff there too. What have you seen changing down there in your world?
Yeah, so I definitely, I'm not a member of a chamber because just of the way things are, but I've spoken at a lot of the chambers here in town. helping them with social media kind of things. But the reason, and really why, is because Houston Social Media Breakfast has become sort of our own little chamber, because it's really all of the social media professionals in the area. So you have everybody from like the hospital people to people that have started their own business to the startup scene, all of them together. So I relate to what Simon said, is that, and what you guys are saying is that you get Scott, all of these different groups that normally wouldn't get together, getting together to have coffee and talk and share ideas. And that is so important. I think Tim asked, what are you doing now that COVID has hit? And I just think that's a really important question too, because a lot of this in-person stuff has kind of gone away, right? So how do we manage that? And I think your global tea break, Scott, with Alan Hennessy, that has been a real inspiration for me, because you get together on a Zoom, but you have a conversation and you let people know each other, and there's a networking opportunity there that is, virtual, but at least you continue to have your networking. And so even though it's a global organization, it's still personal and small. So I think that's the key. I don't know, Simon may have more to say about that.
Well, and Russ has really demonstrated what is important in that. You get to meet people in the tea break, but you really build those relationships by having those meetings. And Russ, you're the master.
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that. But what I found, and I think Simon has seen this too, is that I have always been the kind that have gone to groups that used to be in person, and then I've extended that relationship and connection individually, going to coffee with people, meeting with people. So now all I'm doing, Simon's been doing great things locally, and then the global tea break and all the wonderful opportunities worldwide. And then I extend that individually by just inviting people to connect. And I've just made it really simple, because whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever I'm meeting them on, I just shoot over a link to my connection page on my website, and we just connect individually on Zoom. Gives you that chance. That's what Cammie and I did. We sat down, we just started talking, got to know each other, and you can really, with concentrated time with individuals, really get to know them personally. I probably know Cammie better than some of my neighbors now, because I talk to her more often.
You're right about that.
And I want to give both Cammie and Simon an opportunity to share about how people can participate, because Simon, I know greeters, and you can explain a little bit about what that is, but you don't have to be in the local area to attend. And also, Cammie, the breakfast.
Yeah. So it's long been attended like worldwide.
Yeah. How do we do that?
Why don't you go, Simon?
Sure. So our greeters is on a Tuesday morning, and I want to say it's a standard program that a lot of chambers have, coffee and commerce, a kind of a networking thing. Obviously, as Russ mentioned, it was always in person, which was fantastic. And, I think the word is pivot, right? Everybody had to pivot last year. And so, so we shifted it online. And what's interesting now, and I think you guys, actually all of you touched on it, is right now I think we started our virtual ones in right around April, when things shut down in Oregon. Well, pretty much everywhere. But they shut down. So we went to online, and then online became, it's kind of cool. I don't have to, I don't have to wear pants for this greeters. I can just, neck up. And so
too much information.
Yeah. So you get to that sort of thing. Right. And then now, like literally kind of right now, this sort of people, I don't want to say they're zoomed out, but now we have to sort of pivot again, right? We have to try and find out what do we got to do now, because now, the 30 people in a Zoom call now is starting to get a little old for people. So it's a great opportunity to, again, just, wake areas of your brain up and just try and figure out different ways to do things. We've added little wrinkles to ours. We have a little 3-minute mingle, we call it, at the end, where, it's a little feature on Zoom, and we bust everybody out into random groups of 3 in their little meeting rooms all over. So there's a little bit more intimacy for those people. But yeah, it's been pretty interesting to see how people react to that. But we haven't seen a drop off, which is cool.
I just want to chime in before Cami goes and say that I love the little 3-minute breakout with individuals, because last week I had a new person from Newport over at the coast, and she happened to be in my breakout group, and I had already messaged her, shocked that I had already messaged her to meet individually. And so we actually got to talk for a couple minutes, she and another friend. So it was a lot of fun. So yeah. Cami, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I love that, Simon. It's exactly what we're going to do, or very similar. So we have a professional development series, and we always have done this. And even when we were meeting in person, I'd have a guest, we'd interview them, and it was live streamed. I've been live streaming for about I'd say almost 8 years now. It's been being live streamed on the monthly meeting, but it was in the actual room, like you would see us like sitting on the bar stools and stuff. And that's what we did. Now we do it on Zoom, obviously, just the 2 screens. But that is going to continue. Like, even if we go back in person, obviously we'll continue to live stream. So we've had people attend that forever. And that's on the second Friday of every month. It's all you have to look is go to Facebook and go to Houston Social Media Breakfast. Like, just search that and it will come up. It's a page. You just like it. In the about section, there's a link if you want to get on the email list so that you can be told what's coming up next. We just had Roger Wakefield come and talk about YouTube last time, and next time we're going to have Bonnie come and talk about, what's the new one? Help me. The new one
Clubhouse.
With the audio.
Probably Clubhouse.
Yes, Clubhouse. So we're going to do one on Clubhouse in a couple of weeks. And then on the other Friday, which is this Friday, we're going to be doing these Zoom networking calls. And so what I've been doing with my team, my staff at Zoetica, is we keep on the cutting edge of what's going on with social media, because it's our job. So we have a spreadsheet where we put in all these things that we've been doing. So I thought, why am I'm not using that? So we're going to start releasing that on the Thursday before, and it's called Smart Social Sparks. And it just has all of the new things that have happened in all the different networks over the last month, which is crazy this month, by the way. It's been crazy. So that's been interesting. And then we're going to have a discussion around those things. And people are also going to say, oh, and I heard this and I heard this. So we're going to share the cutting edge of social media during these meetings.
Love it.
So we'll start with like a little hello, meet and greet. But immediately I'm going to put people into breakout groups for about 2 or 3 minutes. They're going to talk. Then we're going to come back. We're going to go over some of the things. And then we're going to go back into breakout. So it's kind of the thought.
I love that. So people can go to Facebook, search for Social Media Houston Breakfast.
I would do Houston Social Media Breakfast, because there's more than one social media breakfast in the world.
Houston Social Media Breakfast. And then also for Simon, for the Corvallis Chamber, people want to participate there, they can go to corvallischamber.com, correct?
Yep.
And
then you see at Cami Chat there if you have any trouble. I'm in every single network as at Cami Chat. So like if you like Twitter, if you like Instagram, if you like LinkedIn, I'm Cami.
We find you on Clubhouse at Cami Chat?
I am not on Clubhouse, but here's why. I have
Android.
I don't have an iPhone. So.
Yeah. So you know what I did?
I have an invitation. I have an invitation to Clubhouse.
I have an iPad. So I'm an Android PC guy, but I have an iPad. And the reason I got it was specifically because some apps were coming out with iOS only. And so I'm happy that I was able to get that. Just to mention too, as the Global Tea Break is scrolling by there, this Friday at 3 p.m. GMT. So if you work back, that's 7 a.m. Pacific again.
Same time we're doing this now, yeah.
Jim Fuse is actually going to be giving us a little overview on Clubhouse.
Cool.
So it is an important platform right now.
Well, those things are so much. Yeah, those are so much value. Cami, I was just going to say, I look forward to Jim talking to what you have going, Cami, because when I was watching Roger on the YouTube little chat on your show, on the Media Breakfast, it was very informative. It was very good. And I immediately connected up with him. It was great.
Yeah. And my whole goal when I do these things is I want people to walk away with one thing that they can implement immediately. That's my goal. In everything that I do, one thing that you can implement immediately. So I'm very practical. I'm a very practical teacher. I want people to have something that they can do and get going on immediately. So that's really what I'm all about. And
I see Marjorie saying she needs an invitation to call. I have an invitation, Margie. I will I will when we're done with this call, I'll connect up and make sure I get you an invite in the clubhouse.
Yeah, and I have an invite, so I just need to steal my son's iPad, I guess.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Well, we appreciate both of you so much. And can you give us, we talked a little bit about connection information for the things you're doing, but how do people get in touch with you for Zoetica, Cami?
Yeah, Zoetica is my company. It's zoeticamedia.com, Zoetica media.com. Again, just, Cami chat anywhere. So if you can't find anything, just do Cami chat and you'll find me. So you can put it in Google, it'll pull everything up.
Perfect. And Simon, how do people get in touch with you?
You can obviously check us out on the on corvallischamber.com. We have pretty much every networking or every social media is Corvallis Biz with a Z. So you can check us out on Twitter, and we have a YouTube channel as well where you see some of those chamber chats we talked about. But yeah,
the important thing, Simon, though, is how do we get an autographed ball from you?
They're not,
because pro ball players. I mean, come on, that's worth some money right there. We should. Russ, we should have had a giveaway.
There you go. I forgot about that.
A signed ball
because that's a great giveaway. That's going to bring the show down.
I think we would have had a lot bigger audience if we knew there was going to be a signed soccer ball.
My mom would have jumped on.
All right, Russ is going to work on getting FIFA to sponsor us.
And then, of course, Clubhouse invites. Between the two of those, we're set.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you guys are so much fun. We appreciate you. I'm going to send the two of you out for a moment. Hang tight. Scott and I are going to close things up. So it's been so awesome. Goodbye, Cami.
Bye, Simon, thank you so much.
Hey, Scott, once again, you're incredible. You're awesome. You always add so much value to me. I appreciate you. And,
inspiration and motivation.
Yeah, the ability to do this together and on this platform and reach out to people. We really want to continue to add value to people. We're going to keep it short. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to give people lots of good information. And look at that right there as we go out. Ray's saying thank you so much.
Ray of sunshine. We love Ray.
And Helen is thanking us because, people appreciate being able to interact live. And we're going to be doing this every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
And Marjorie got her invite to Clubhouse out of this. I know we'll get some more connections. I'm just thrilled. But I'll tell you what, Russ, this 30 minutes goes fast.
It does. It goes super fast. And speaking of going fast, we're going to wrap things up. But listen, thank you, everybody. Once again, we'll see you next Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Wherever you are in the world, please join us. And we would love to add value to your day. Okay, we'll talk to you next week.
Fabulous. Cheers.
See you later.